Hello and welcome to this NDTV special as we discuss India's fabulous win over Pakistan. The build-up of the match was really massive, but ultimately what happened in Ahmedabad was total annihilation of Pakistan. Joining me today is my colleague Shayan Ghosh and Aditya Kumar. I'll come to Shayan first. Shayan, total domination?
Total domination by India. What more can we ask for from a game like this? Brilliant bowling display on a pitch that we all thought will not be of help to bowlers. Actually, when Rizwan and Babar were batting, we were even talking about it that the bowlers are not getting much help. But
Right.
I think kudos to Rohit Sharma, the captain.
Hmm.
I think how India changed their bowlers and used their resources. I think kudos to him for actually coming up with the right bowlers at the right time.
Right.
And also and this I think this performance really cements India as one of the firm favorites, because now we are really firing on all fronts, I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. And then Aditya, one thing, before coming here, we were talking to former India cricketer Sabha Karim, and the point that Shayan mentioned that the Rohit Sharma's captaincy, batting, bowling, of course, we'll discuss more about that later. But Rohit Sharma's captaincy, attacking captaincy, he kept on the pressure on the Pakistan batters. Remember, Pakistan were 155 for 2 at one stage after
Yes.
India opted to bowl. Pakistan had a great start. Abdullah Shafiq, Imamul Haq, the top order was performing really well, and on a flat track, it seemed like a flat track from the outside. Pakistan seemed like going to that third 300,
Yes.
over 300 mark,
Yeah.
but Rohit Sharma's captaincy, he didn't keep, he always kept the pressure on.
Yeah, surely, and this is a very important thing. Actually, something what we haven't talked much about, like Rohit's captaincy, the rotation of the bowlers, especially.
Right.
And he's actually a calm head captain.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
in reviews also, we have seen if we ignore some of the reviews, which obviously can go either way many a time, but mostly we have seen Rohit working as a calm-headed captain, and he has really performed very well while rotating his bowlers, showing trust on his bowlers, and that is certainly an area that we might have talked very less compared to what we should have, in fact.
Right, and it's the middle overs that is so very crucial in ODIs.
Yes.
It can be boring and it can be the game changer in a match, and it happened today also. The way Bumrah gave the breakthroughs, Kuldeep Yadav took two important wickets in one over. It clearly broke the back of Pakistan batting lineup. And no words are enough to praise Indian bowlers. In 3 matches so far, India have defeated all their opponents. It was a hat trick of win today, and a lot of that credit goes on is due to the Indian bowlers. Shan.
Yes, I think the bowlers really performed well. And as I was saying that this is a pitch that was tailor made for batters.
Right.
Indian batting actually showed that we were talking so much about the Pakistani bowling, but they did not get any help, and I don't think any of their bowlers looked really dangerous at any point.
Yeah.
So I think it really puts into perspective what India has achieved here, to really go up against a batting lineup that just chased down a record total against Sri Lanka,
Right.
to really keep them quiet. And from 155
For two.
for two, they finished at 191.
Yeah.
So we can only assume how good that period was by India to actually restrict them to such a small total, where we were thinking that we are sure looking at a 300 plus total, and this will be a game that will be decided on how good the batters do, and the bowlers are just there, sadly.
Yeah.
So I think again this match will really put into perspective how good India have done in this tournament.
In fact, the bowling, what I think, like in the first innings, obviously India bowled well, but it looked far more better in the second innings when Rohit was batting out there. Then we felt, okay, it is such kind of a surface where shot making is particularly easy.
Right.
But the way Rohit Sharma was played, he actually assured that India can go home comfortably. Just think what our bowlers have done on that track. They have stopped Pakistan to a poultry total basically. 200 is no score, like 191 is nothing.
Yeah,
On such a track.
in this age of T20, I don't think 200 run, and where we have seen uh, scores of 300 also being chased. In fact, Pakistan only chased a
Yes.
345 run target against Sri
A
Lanka,
world record.
world record target, and it didn't look like Pakistan's day. A bit about, I mean, you mentioned Rohit's batting. I mean, how crucial is it? Last match also he scored his seventh ODI World Cup century, and today also he seemed cruising towards the figure mark, but he fell for 86. But then uh, it will boost India's confidence really high.
Yes,
Like it.
definitely. Because a batter like Rohit Sharma, you know that he won't score if he goes deep.
Hmm.
Okay, he won't score a 50 or a 60. He can give you 160, 170. That too at a very good strike rate.
Hmm.
That's why in such cases, the Rohit Sharma as a batter becomes very crucial for your team. And to see him performing in the first three matches of the World Cup, first game was, you can say that in that game he could not perform well, but
Hmm.
in the next two game he made a really good comeback.
Hmm.
And to see him blazing like this, because it's like, you say the term that back in the groove type of thing,
Hmm.
because it's not only that he's scoring runs, but with the dominance that he's playing his pull shots, and that dominance has been really impressive from Rohit.
Yeah, I mean that aggressive batting, Rohit was so
Yeah.
uh, intent on in the last 1 year, like changing his batting mold a little bit and going the aggressive way. I think it's, I mean, these are still early days. We have India have like six more matches to play in the group stage of this World Cup, but that is really coming good so far. Because the strike rate. Why am I mentioning the strike rate? Because India today won with almost what, close to 19 20 overs left,
Yeah.
and due to that India's run rate has gone up really high, and India are currently the number one team in the ICC points table. Mind you, India have already defeated two big teams, Australia and Pakistan. They have another win against Afghanistan. So basically, uh, going by what happened in the 2019 World Cup, which was played in the same format where every team plays every other team, uh, win of six wins in
Six
the
should
six
be enough.
is enough for a team to qualify for the semi-finals. So India already have 2 3 matches against smaller teams like Bangladesh and Netherlands. So basically, winning, I mean, mathematically speaking, winning one match out of the three big matches against South Africa, England,
Yeah.
and New Zealand will do the job, right?
Yeah, I think two more wins will put them in a great position, and
Hmm.
three wins should be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest positive that I can see for India right now is that they have a stable team composition.
Right.
I think in the preview of this game we were talking about whether this can be changed, that can be changed,
Hmm.
what can be
Hmm.
changes.
Hmm.
I think after today's match we really have to ask ourselves, where do we
Where
make
do
this
yeah,
change?
yeah. I mean, they have been brave also, right? I mean, after the first match, Shardul Thakur, he was brought in today,
Yeah.
but I think last match also Shardul played, right?
Last match
Shardul played, and first match
first
Ashwin.
match Ashwin played
Yeah,
because the
so
Chennai pitch.
so it shows that India are like not averse to taking those risks, to changing those players. And one player, we'll talk about the Bumrahs and Rohits and Kuldeeps, but one player who really shone bright today in the chase, though the chase was not. India were not chasing a big total, was Shreyas Iyer. I think we had a lot of chat about
Yeah.
how good or how bad Shreyas can be in the number 4 position. But today he scored an unbeaten half century. In fact, he scored the winning runs. And I think with today's knock, as Shayan mentioned, we are a far more settled lineup, and removing Shreyas Iyer from the number 4 spot will be difficult.
Yeah, surely. In the first game itself, if you say like he could not score runs, but he looked good at the crease. He stayed for hardly, I think, 1 to 2 balls,
Hmm.
but he was confident at the crease. But against Afghanistan, I think he stayed not out, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
after that, against Pakistan, a 50,
Yeah.
a match-winning 50,
Match winning
basically.
50, and he was, I mean, he was not there today also.
And you carry a different confidence actually when you finish the games with an unbeaten 50. That gives you a damn good confidence, and with that, Shreyas Iyer will be going into the next match, and India's number 4 is like more or less confirmed so far, and that's a very good sign for the Indian cricket team. That was certainly the thing that was panicking India, that
Yeah,
were
yeah.
troubling India, to be honest. But now I think it is more or less settled.
So now basically you have Rohit Sharma, who is among great runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Virat Kohli is in great form. Shreyas Iyer is in great form. KL Rahul also is in great
Is in
form.
great
The
form.
only concern, if you might say so, is that second opener's role. Because today Shubman Gill played in place
I
of
think early
Ishan Kishan.
days. Though.
Early days,
Early
so
days.
that is maybe one area where India might want to improve, but these are still early days. India's bowling, of course, looks great. And how do you see? I want to ask you both. Kuldeep Yadav's bowling. A year back he was going through a very tough time. He was not even part of the Indian team, but he made a brilliant comeback, right, Aditya? I mean, he
Yeah, definitely.
brilliant comeback from the IPL. He that mojo in his bowling was back, and today he took some crucial wickets in the middle overs, which is like the differentiator in any ODI game.
Definitely. There are some technical changes that Kuldeep Yadav has made, but
Hmm.
more than that, what I feel
Hmm.
after doing those technical changes,
Hmm.
you get a result.
Hmm.
After that, you gain confidence, and
Hmm.
eventually, because it's not like that. After making technical changes, Kuldeep Yadav has become all sort of different player. No,
Hmm. Hmm.
he was the same Kuldeep Yadav with the fewer adjustments. He has now come to the international stage again.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the point is, when you gain that confidence after taking wickets, so
Hmm.
that is how you keep delivering in
Right, right,
games
right.
after games. And that is something happening with Kuldeep Yadav now.
Hmm.
He has been providing India breakthroughs for past few games, I would say,
Hmm.
for a considerable amount of games. And that confidence is now, reflecting in his performance.
Yeah, I mean he's not. I mean that even if he gets hit now, that confidence, that aggression is shown. For a wrist spinner, I think that is the best thing. That even after you get hit, you have that
Yes.
confidence in yourself to hit back.
Yes.
But one man in the bowling department who was nursing injury till a couple of months back, uh, Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, I think so far I think he's India's best player so far. I mean, irrespective of the batting, bowling, everything. Can we say that?
I think surely the top three. I think surely top three. I think today how he bowled, how he really read the
Hmm,
conditions
hmm,
and
hmm.
used his variation. Like it wasn't just like Bumrah coming in and bowling his usual deliveries and hoping something happens out of the pitch. I think if we see Rizwan's wicket,
Hmm.
that's a very big example of how he changed his pace out of nowhere, because I think past 2 overs he did not use the slower one,
Hmm,
and
Yeah.
hmm,
suddenly he went for it
hmm.
because in a pitch which is not helping you, I think the only element that really helps you is surprise.
Hmm.
And I think Bumrah really showed that how smart of a bowler he is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There is talent, of course. We
And
we
that is
we know
certainly
the
one of the
talent.
key factors with Bumrah, right? Like he does not depend on pitches,
Yes, I
surfaces,
think
and
his
all.
smartness, his variety is something that really makes him a great asset.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And how do you see India's support cast like in bowling? Bumrah is bowling really well. Siraj today, initially it looked like he was a bit
Yes.
wayward. Not as effective as Bumrah, but he really came along. Overall, over and above, I think it's getting really difficult to find any flaw in this Indian cricket team. Do you think? In a way that's bad because team might get overconfident?
I think it can get that way,
Hmm.
but we also have to look at it as a tournament perspective,
Hmm.
that we are in a tournament which will be there for a long haul.
Hmm.
And if we have a settled team that is playing well, that
Hmm.
means good results.
Hmm.
And imagine if we have 10 points after 5 matches.
Hmm.
That puts India in a position where they can actually start making those changes.
Right.
Make sure
Yes.
that all your players are not fatigued by the time.
Hmm.
If you're fighting for a position in the semi-finals with 3 games to go,
Hmm.
we will not have the luxury to bench anyone,
Right, right,
Yes.
right.
or to even bring someone in and make sure that it's okay, that we can let Bumrah not play these 2 matches and have him fresh when
Hmm.
it comes to
Hmm.
the semi-finals. So I think a problem of plenty is a good and bad thing,
Hmm.
but I will not hope for a bad performance. I
But
Right.
think what is happening is a
amidst,
great thing
amidst
for
all
us.
that, what I feel like the best thing about India is that they have delivered in the first three matches.
Hmm.
Like, it is not that you have
Ha.
fallen, then you have risen,
Yes.
and then you're looking
Yeah.
for the
Like
semi-final
they
spot.
don't have to play the catch up
Yeah,
Australia.
yeah. Even if you see the stats, like
Hmm.
India have already won three games. Like,
Hmm.
we were talking that you need to win six games to
Hmm.
assure
Hmm.
yourself of a
Hmm.
semi-final spot.
Hmm.
More six games are remaining, and India need to win only three of those.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you have a good chance. Even if you slip in a game or two, you can bounce back. You can see where the loopholes are. So India have a very good opportunity according to that, because they have excelled at the beginning of the tournament, basically.
Right. So India next play Bangladesh, I think, on Thursday. That is
Yes.
India's next match, and after that, again next weekend, that's on Sunday. They play New Zealand. So my last question to both of you, we are going to keep it really short today.
Yes.
Uh, who do you think, going by the form, will be the most the toughest opponents for India in the group stage, in the matches that are remaining, Shan?
I feel I feel South Africa.
South Africa. And why?
Definitely.
I think South Africa, their batting has been brilliant.
Hmm.
I think their batting has been like their batting has been one of the best till now.
Hmm.
I think at par with India, we can say. And so but right now they have the best net run rate.
Hmm. Hmm.
They have
Right.
played two
Sure.
matches.
I think 1.80 something like
No,
that.
they have
2
2.3.
point
I think.
something.
I think they.
Oh,
I
above
think
2.
yeah, they have 2.3
Yeah,
after
1.8
two.
is India's,
Yes,
right?
after two
Yeah.
matches they have
Yeah.
2.3.
Hmm.
So I think considering how I think even New Zealand.
Yeah.
I think even New Zealand, we never know, because New Zealand is a team that is consistent.
Yeah.
Even when New Zealand is not delivering massive results, they are
Hmm.
consistent. And when I think India is playing New Zealand in Dharamshala, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
If
I'll
I'm
just
not,
check it
Yeah.
once.
I
It's in. Okay, wait.
I think India is playing. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I also think so. It's Dharamshala.
Dharamshala.
And
Oh.
and if we consider the conditions,
Conditions.
Hmm.
the outfield,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very good point made by.
I think
Yeah.
we have to look at the trend ball factor.
Yes.
Right.
We can never discount that.
And any left arm,
Any left arm, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
too, the pedigree of
Yeah.
10 bowls.
And with that, that wind coming in from the hills,
Yes,
he will be extra deadly.
it will be a challenge. And looking at the ground and the outfield, which is really unfortunate for a tournament of this stature,
Hmm.
I think it will be interesting to see how India actually negotiates that.
Hmm. Hmm. Aditya, same thing. South Africa and New Zealand.
Yeah, obviously. And while South Africa basically already well explained by my senior San about New
Hmm.
Zealand, but South Africa, you know what? When you have such a greater run rate, like a
Mhm.
run rate of +2 or something like
Mhm.
that,
Hmm.
you also send a message that
Hmm.
how
Dominating.
well you have been dominating in the games that you have
Hmm.
played.
Hmm.
Like I was just going through stats. The first game they won through a margin of 100 runs. Second
Hmm.
game
Yes.
more than 100 runs. So that shows that you have played in such a way that the opposition team got no chance to even come close to your total or even
Hmm.
come close to defeating you. So in that case, India have also been the same story so far.
Hmm.
But we will see. Interestingly, it will be a very interesting battle to see which team comes out on top when such two greater teams face each other.
No, that's an interesting point because so far, of course, apart from India, the two most consistent teams have been two sides which has never won the World Cup. So we'll have to wait and watch. What
Another interesting
yeah,
point.
what India does.
But
what
who do you think? Who do you
No,
think will be the toughest?
no, I personally feel it's New Zealand more than South Africa. Because New Zealand, I think the balance is much. I mean, in fact, it's close to India even better. You have a guy like Rachindra Ravindra who's playing his debut World Cup, and yet he's scoring runs, he's picking wickets. You have bowlers of the likes of Trent Bolt and others. So I think the balance in the side is really great, and New Zealand is one team who you can never count them out, who always punches above their weights. So
Yeah.
I think New Zealand should be India's the toughest challenge, and we know the history of New Zealand and India in ICC events. That's not
Yeah,
really
who
really
can
really,
Yes.
really
forget?
some pleasant memory
Yes.
for the Indian team. So keeping all those factors in concern, I think in the group stage, New Zealand will be India's toughest opponent so far. We don't know what happens. Any team can defeat anybody. India's playing Bangladesh. We are only talking about the bigger teams, but the smaller teams, they can spring a surprise. Bangladesh India rivalry, that is also one rivalry, that is really catching up. Be it with the aggressive celebrations from both
Yes.
sides, with the Nagin dance, or recently what happened in Bangladesh between the women's cricket teams. We never know, who will come out good on their day. But do join us. Keep logging on to NDTV.com. We bring you more analysis, interviews, discussions on the Cricket World Cup, and much more. Thank you so much for joining. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.